Everybody, and welcome back to Gem Finders Season 3, Episode 2. Now, if you're new here, Gem Finders is a series in which I come on live and we literally just look for different types of crypto companies and crypto projects that may have some type of potential. Now, honestly, in this crazy world of cryptos, microcaps, and all that good stuff, there's going to be the good, there's going to be the bad, and the ugly. And of course, our whole goal is to try to pick those apart and find the good and leave the bad and the ugly behind. And so, of course, we have done 2 seasons of this before. We've had multiple different cryptos that we found on stream do 100x's, 50x's, 20x's, 5x's, and even more. And so our goal, of course, is to always, let me mute that, there we go. And our goal is to always, of course, be able to continue that streak. And so with that said, of course, I hope you guys are excited, as I definitely am. Now, if you're curious about how this whole process is going to work, basically, just to make it simple, I did go ahead and get this pulled up. There you go. What I do is I send out on my Twitter account, Tyler Hill YT, and I say, hey, if you think your company deserves a spotlight, you know what to do. Go ahead in the comment section below of this tweet and just let me know, what your company is, what they're about. And on Gem Finders, we're going to check them out. Now, guys, we are going to be putting companies on the chopping block. We are going to just be rating them and, talking about them, criticizing them, and giving them their props live on stream. This is all my real raw reaction to everything that happens. And so, of course, I hope you guys do understand that if you promote to me a company that I don't really like, I'm going to say that I don't really like it. Don't take it too personal. Business is business. So with that said, we are going to allow the notifications to go out. We're going to let some more people join in. But overall, I hope you guys are excited about it, and make sure that you do go ahead again and follow me on my Twitter account at Tyler Hill YT so that you never miss the next one. Now, whenever we do wrap up today's stream, I am going to pick 1 or 2 of the crypto projects that I do like the most and feature them in my free newsletter, the MicroCap Catch Up. It is in the link in the description, the first link down there. And I'm going to feature them in that newsletter. I'm going to talk about the things I liked. I'm going to talk about the things I didn't like. I'm going to talk about what I, am looking forward to from them in the future. And then later in the season, we are going to let some of these ones that won the week go head to head. Now, of course, last week, Strike X was the winner. They absolutely blew the competition out of the water. They did absolutely amazing. And so, with that said, of course, it will be very exciting to see how this does transpire and what we do get today. Now, we do have some coming up, as you can see here from our list. We have Minima. This is actually an interesting one. This is one that one of my friends actually said, hey, I know you like pre-sales, check this thing out, let me know what you think about it. This may be something that you want to invest into. It is in their pre-sale phase right now, as I mentioned before, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just put it on Gem Finders. I'm gonna look at it, see if I like it, and kind of give you guys my opinion on if I'm gonna put money in the pre-sale. Obviously, I do a lot of pre-sale investing. It's one of my favorite things to do. I always tell you guys about it on the channel, so who knows, maybe we'll have another investment from Minima coming up pretty soon here. But after that, of course, we do have Sidekick Finance and Surge Protocol, both of which were from the recent tweets that I made on my Twitter account. And then after that, if we have more time, I'm gonna leave it open to the chat and let you all decide what companies that we are going to go over. So with that said, I do believe we've been on for about 3 minutes now, so we are not going to waste any more time at all, and we are going to get into the very first crypto of the day, and that is Minima Protocol. Now, as I mentioned before, this is one that someone reached out to me about. They said that it seemed pretty interesting, that it could be something I might want to invest into. And so, like I said, hey, we'll look at it live in effect. We'll let everybody make their opinions about it. And hey, maybe I'll take your guys' opinion into account whenever I do decide if I'm actually going to invest in this thing or not. So let's talk about what in the world is Minima.global. So Minima.global is the only decentralized layer 1 blockchain. Now that's interesting. Of course, we obviously have like Bitcoin and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going about this in terms of marketing. So with Minima, you can access information anywhere without boundaries, transfer value with anyone without intermediaries, and communicate with everyone without restrictions. Freedom was the promise of blockchain. Learn how Minima fulfills that promise. I would assume there's a video. A lot of these videos give me copyright strikes, so I'm not going to click that, but we will continue on. Moving forward, okay, hundreds of thousands of nodes are validating and constructing the network. It's a fully distributed network with no single point of failure. The world's first completely decentralized blockchain. I want to learn more about that because I feel like that's a super big claim, right? The only blockchain controlled entirely by users, and the only blockchain to run in full on a mobile phone. Okay, one of these is going to have to get clicked, of course. Okay, and guys, let me know. Make sure I'm not lagging. If you guys could just let me know that everything's running smoothly. On my side, I do get these little lag spikes sometimes, and it doesn't show me if that's just my stream that's tripping out or if that's actually if my connection is bad. So definitely let me know. Let me know, make sure everything's good. But anywho, So going forward, so let's just start here, okay? And remember, this is one that I'm thinking, maybe going to invest in myself. So obviously, we'll see what we think. So welcome aboard. This post will provide you with a high-level overview of purpose, values, and what we are collectively working towards. We hope this will make you feel at home in our community and act as a springboard for further exploration, okay? Minima was born out of the desire to build a network that empowers freedom for all. We believe everyone should have an equal opportunity to create, communicate, and collaborate, so we cooperate within our network to achieve this goal, okay? What are our values? Collaboration, participation, empowerment, and accountability. Let's see. Yeah, okay, this is what we're working towards. So for every mobile and Internet of Things device to run a Minima node, creating a truly decentralized network that no one controls and everyone owns, where value can be exchanged without third parties, apps can be built without restrictions, and people can connect without limits. So it seems like their focus is through mobile phones and IoT. Obviously, IoT is kind of a broad term, I would say, but it seems as if their whole focus here is to make it completely node-based, right? So that's interesting. Freedom is possible, and together we can achieve it. See, this isn't what you would usually see from a crypto that is about to launch. Usually they're a little bit smaller. They're not really trying to target an entire layer 1 blockchain and stuff. So when I do see layer 1s getting ready to launch, they always pique my interest, just because it's like, obviously layer 1s are going to have the time where they're going to run, and the layer 1 bull market's going to come around. So it's definitely interesting. I just got to see, how this is a lot, right? This is a lot more than I realized. So let's kind of dig into it a little bit. So this Minima is a blockchain and peer-to-peer network designed to be accessible to as many people as possible by making it compact enough to run on mobile and IoT devices. It is complete, quantum resistant, and secured by every single one of its users. The Minima network, all right, here we go. The Minima network will enable people or devices to exchange value or information directly and securely without third-party interference. Minima has no center of control, as each user, by simply downloading a mobile app, contributes to the network as an equal participant. Now, I don't understand, honestly, the technology behind that, and I don't know if it's feasible, but it is interesting, to say the least, right? I think right now we're kind of at a point in time where everyone is starting to get really worried about central points of authority, and obviously the banking sector is going through it right now. Many banking collapse is going on, stablecoins collapsing due to that also, and so because of that, I think that we are going to see a kind of intrinsic growth in value for many of these decentralized applications and blockchains, etc. So offering this up in this nature, in which it is run by nodes and it is run through all of your people on phones, it is interesting. I don't know if it works, but it's definitely interesting. I would love to see it, to see how it works. So this is interesting. So all design decisions for Minima aim to ensure the protocol remains decentralized over time and can be attributed to 3 elements. Everyone builds the chain, no reliance on fees, and it must be finished, okay? So everyone builds a chain. Validation involves checking that pending transactions and blocks are valid. They help to ensure that invalid transactions cannot get into a block. However, they cannot control which valid transactions get into a block. They cannot prevent censorship of transactions. Construction involves selecting which transactions are added to blocks and adding blocks to the chain. This is the ultimate level of power that any blockchain node can have. Now, saying that they're the only one, I don't necessarily think that they're saying they're the only ones that can do this, but I've definitely seen similar explanations for what a company is trying to accomplish as this one. So I wouldn't necessarily say they're like the only one, right? Now, this is interesting. So when financial incentives are at stake, human nature takes over. We will do everything in our power to accumulate the resources required to win as much as possible. Incentives commonly seen to those constructing the chain are transaction fees and block rewards. The resources required to attain these incentives are either powerful, expensive computer hardware or large financial contributions in the form of staking. Financial incentives are vectors for centralization over time, as those with the wealth of resources can continue to increase their share and secure their control over the construction of the chain. And that is true, right? Obviously, people who have more access to resources, more access to energy and technology are obviously going to be able to take over more market share, which does make it somewhat centralized. Now, as long as there is not one central point of authority, there's not really much they can do, but it is possible to some degree. So that is true. And then lastly, a protocol cannot be without a central authority or be considered a solid foundation to build on if certain developers can govern and change the rules on chain. Therefore, a blockchain protocol cannot be truly decentralized if it is not complete. The Minima protocol will be complete at launch. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So let's see. Total decentralization, a better protocol for everyone. And obviously, we're not going to be able to dig into everything today, but I do want to cover the basics and give you guys just a broad maybe, a broad maybe or no if I'm going to be investing in this or not. So Let's see. This is what I'm curious about. How does this work? So Minima is light in file size and heavy in the range of options to which it can be applied. This means that Minima is small enough to run as an application on a mobile or IoT device, making it openly accessible and easy to use. The flexibility, ease of access, and inclusiveness opens up a vast array of potential use cases in which Minima can be applied. My question is, I wonder why, if this is this simple, why no one else has done it. And I think that's kind of the main thing that sticks out in my head, because truly that would lead to a point of decentralization, correct? So true censorship resistance on a blockchain is not achievable without true decentralization, of course. By re-engineering the blockchain, Minima has created a more resilient protocol with no central points of failure, where all participants collaborate as equals, removing the need for an on-chain governance or for rewarding miners to secure the chain. This level of true decentralization creates a highly resilient ecosystem that allows individuals and enterprises to operate, experiment, and innovate in a secure and scalable environment. So this one's interesting to me, and of course we are going to move on in a second here in about 5 minutes, but I am curious and I want to learn a little bit more. Because obviously the point realistically of crypto as it was formed was decentralization. And if there was a method in which you could kind of remove the need for miners, for example, to stabilize the network, and you can make it truly decentralized, why hasn't anyone taken that approach yet? And the thing is, I feel like there have been other people who have taken similar approaches, because I've learned about other cryptos that are somewhat similar. So, and the only reason I say that is because they said they're the only, the only decentralized layer 1 blockchain. So that's kind of what makes me curious about it, right? So our utility here. It is a store of value, a medium of exchange. Obviously, if it is decentralized, then that would make sense. The Minima currency will be the primary medium of exchange on the network. All users or devices running nodes are able to transact directly peer-to-peer, wherever, whenever. The burn is a small fee, which is incurred when sending transactions on the Minima network during times of high demand. This cost, denominated in Minima, is burned, basically being removed from Minima's hard cap supply. This makes Minima a deflationary currency, as the overall circulating supply slowly decreases over time. Providing demand stays the same, a deflationary currency will appreciate. So I guess the biggest question I have with this one also is, and I'm probably going to end up making a follow-up video on this, or maybe like a follow-up integration or something when I learn the answers to these questions. But one of the biggest things that I ask questions about here is during times of high demand. So this is obviously kind of just, it's not necessarily set in stone, right? So does this mean that this fee will only be applicable during certain times and others? And if it is the case, who determines when those times are, what that level of demand is? And is it turned on and can it be turned on and turned off, right? That's what I'm curious about. Or is it like a set number? Once we hit this certain amount of demand or volume, then it turns on. It's interesting because obviously there would need to be a central point of control. If this is a fee that is incurred when there's times of high demand. So this is definitely one of the questions I have, and one of the questions I'm going to find out about. And one of the reasons I'm telling you all the questions that I have isn't to criticize, but more of the point of Gem Finders that I like to do is to show you all how I do my research. What I do is I look through it, ask questions, I go to the team, I go to the owners, I ask those questions to them, and then formulate an opinion on if I'm going to invest or not. So I kind of want to show you guys that process a bit. But don't worry, we are going to move on pretty soon here. Now, I did notice this. This is interesting. So, mini dApps. So, mini dApps. Minima's decentralized applications will be the main driver of utility in the Minima network. Driven by a powerful scripting language for writing small contracts and using the widely known JavaScript, HTML, and CSS to create user-friendly interfaces for people to interact with the smart contracts. Okay. So potential uses for the Minima currency and the mini dApp ecosystem are unlimited and will depend on the applications built by community developers, but could include payments, DeFi, DEXs, DAO, gaming, voting, funding, social media. So basically they're, of course, they're a layer 1 blockchain, and obviously if their whole point here is to be decentralized, and they're going to create dApps or decentralized applications in which can be built on top of the blockchain. I mean, that would make a lot of sense, and I would assume that's one of the layers of their blockchain, right? It kind of has to be. I mean, it's the only really way your blockchain can scale is if there is true utility through things such as dApps, right? So, and then lastly, partnerships with existing businesses integrate Minima into their business offerings will increase credibility and demand for the Minima network and Minima currency. Current pending partnerships include companies in the following industries, from vehicle to vehicle communication, telecoms, and file sharing platforms. So definitely a lot here, and we're going to go into it. I will check out some of their tokenomics and dive even further into their token supply and look at some of the different vestings and how they plan on going about it. I think I'm going to end up making a bit of a follow-up, a follow-up on this in a video probably sometime next week, in which I go over all of the answers to all of the questions that I had today and give a full-blown opinion. I think at this given point, considering it's a pre-sale, considering it is a layer 1, and it is something that is decentralized, which fits very well within the narrative right now, I think my initial answer would be yes, I'll put a little bit of money into the pre-sale just to see what happens. I obviously don't put a lot of money into pre-sales at all right now, just a little bit, a couple $100 just to see what happens. And so my short-term answer is definitely yes. I think that there's potential in all layer 1s, especially if they actually can execute on their layer 1. So there's that the case, of course, with banks, with everything going on with banks and all of those centralized authorities, with all of the bullshit they have going on. I think there is also going to be a big step up in the narrative for decentralization, which they can tie into very well. So maybe throw a little bit of money in this just to kind of see what happens. So I will keep you guys up to date on that. Their website right now is minima.global, so you can check it out if you want to. But with so much to cover with them, I will save that for a further video at a later date. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of a second. Yeah, and we're gonna probably move on from that one, but I'm definitely interested in a immediate answer without doing any more research. Probably so, yeah. Alrighty, just some chat opinions. You're good. Streaming. I get kind of Pi Network vibes. That's exactly how I was feeling as well, and that's what I was kind of hinting at. It's very similar. Afternoon, go Sidekick, I believe that's who they're for. No fees, but here's a fee. Yeah, that was a little bit odd. I guess it means no gas fees, maybe. We'll see. I'll answer those questions and I'll get back to y'all probably in a video later on. I'll integrate it into another video. No fees except this confusing one that's not explained. Yeah, there definitely could be a little bit more of an explanation on that fee. And how it works. I want to know how it works and what goes over it, but it does seem as if there's just a lot more, like minimum, maximum, mini dApps, and all this stuff. So definitely a lot more to cover. So I'm gonna for sure follow back up on that one. I think that would be I wouldn't be able to do it justice until I can follow up on that a little bit. But with that said, okay, we're gonna move on from Minima and we are going to go into Sidekick Finance. Now, just to show you, I like to show you guys that I'm not just kind of making up which ones I'm going after. As you can see here, Sidekick Finance. We did get a good bit of Sidekick Finance people stepping in. I have no idea what that thing is, but we did get a bunch of Sidekick Finance under this recent tweet. And so I do want to go ahead and jump into this one, kind of just check it out, right? And also, guys, I know today's a bit of a rougher day in the market. I think we're down a little bit. Alts are falling. I definitely understand why, why people are a little bit panicked, but I'm still so confident that the bottom of this market is either in or about to be in, that I'm still going to go over these smaller cryptos, still go over some of these microcaps, because buying these small little lottery tickets, making it 1% of your portfolio could be huge. I mean, it could be absolutely huge. Okay, so that's why we're still going over them, even though it's a bit of an off day today. But let's jump into Sidekick Finance to see what they're all about. So Jumpstart is live. Sidekick Finance, Jumpstart DeFi Watcher headquarters. Okay, this is a pretty cool looking little website. Kind of reminds me of, what's that one crowdfunding platform? It's similar. Can't remember. So let's see. So Sidekick Jumpstart is the first decentralized NFT crowdfunding platform in DeFi. With Jumpstart, you can leverage the power and utility of NFTs to raise crypto funds for any idea, innovation, DAO, private sale, public sale, or business. Jumpstart is fully decentralized and runs on all major EVM chains, of course, Ethereum, Binance, Matic, Crypto.com, etc. Okay. All right. So view campaigns, how it works, circulating, 53 million, $800,000 market cap, real small, 0.015 price, about 3,000 holders, which ain't bad, $172,000 liquidity pool is pretty decent, and 46 million tokens burned. Okay. Yep, Caleb. So we want to reward our emerging community with optimal financial terms so that Sidekick has the staying power to fight back against the sinister fiat money systems. With the power of our elite token that features locked, reusable liquidity and highly deflationary token design, Sidekick is the ideal network for all super holders. That's a new word, super holders. Super hodlers, sorry. So we'll get into how it pays fees in a second. I want to know more about what it is. And take some notes on how I go about my research, guys. A lot of scams are about to start to pop up, trust me, in the next year or two, and you want to avoid them. So do your research. Don't just look at the freaking first page and just buy it. That's ridiculous. All right, let's look at this. So Sidekick is a community-driven, cross-chain, fair launch DeFi network that offers an industry-defining tools and a vast network of long-term potential. Okay. How do you do it? Our goal is to give users the best cross-chain analytics, smart contracts, and user experience to bring as much value to our knowledge to our community as we can. We launched our token SK on the BSC and delivered blockchain developments to our partner projects and customers in BSC, Polygon, and Kronos environment. Along with custom cross-chain analytics and charting, our platform is made of a more than our platform is made of a more than 30 deployed. Got it. Is made of more than 30 deployed on-chain smart contracts. This includes multiple different staking contracts. And guys, I'm not the best reader, don't get me wrong. Our latest protocol, Jumpstart, a decentralized crowdfunding platform, is deployed across multiple EVM networks. Okay, let's get into the meat and the potatoes. Jumpstart, here we go. So, and I think they said this is live. So Jumpstart is a new cross-chain platform being introduced. Jumpstart provides a way, okay, we went over this. I guess we'll just have to kind of go see it. I would just like a little bit more of an explanation of what exactly it does. So here we go. How does this work? Shield Team 6 presents stacking sats. So I guess my question, if you hold GFI or XGFI, then this is for you. No more daily participant required. Just hold the project, share. Does this work? Does this basically, I mean, this kind of feels like a launch pad. Right? So is it something basically in which I go in? So obviously you have these crowdfunding platforms on something like, give me one in the chat. I can't remember the name off. It's slipping my brain. But basically what happens is you go in, they give you an idea of what you want to do. You can obviously raise money through the platform, and as you raise money through the platform, the people who invested into you own a portion of the equity of the company. Now, that's basically the same thing. I mean, it's basically the same thing as a pre-sale, right? Or kind of like a launch pad in which you go in, you obviously buy a portion of the total token supply, you help them raise money, and then you are an equity owner basically because you own tokens of the company. So I almost wonder, is this basically the same thing? Because I see, 80% cap, kind of like hard caps, soft caps. So it kind of feels to me like this is just, it is not, I don't want to say just another launch pad, but is it basically a launch? Kickstarter. Thank you so much, Thomas. Like Kickstarter. Is it a launch pad? I guess that's the main question that I have right now. All done through smart contracts. Okay. So let's see. This is the Sidekick Heroes campaign. Welcome to the next phase of Sidekick Finance. So before we move forward, let's take a quick look at you last year and see how we did. Okay. And remember, guys, my goal isn't to offend. My goal is to ask questions. And I would think the questions that I ask are usually pretty easy to answer. So, 39 backers, 93% funded. That's actually a fantastic number there, realistically. Click on sign trade and you can see the NFTs they have for sale. Okay. I would like that question answered though. Does this work? What is the difference between this and a launch pad? I'm going to kind of just wait for that answer while I look around a little bit. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just curious so that I understand how to do it. Jumpstart is a decentralized crowdfunding platform working with NFTs. Yeah, I saw that on the first page. I guess what I'm asking is, what is the difference between it and a launchpad, right? I get the wording is different. It's a crowdfunding platform, but is it just, is it the same as a launchpad, or is there different incentives here? So go ahead and answer that for me while we keep looking around. So, yeah, okay. So let's go back to here. Okay, cool. Technical features. How does it work? So just like top crowdfunding platforms, here we go. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and GoFundMe. The first step is to craft an engaging and interesting campaign. So you create a campaign, publish your campaign, and create smart contracts. I see. Okay, so as you guys can see here, so he said you don't launch a coin, but buy NFTs by backing the campaign and get a percentage of profits or other benefits. I got it. Okay, cool. Cool. So it's kind of a mixture of a launch pad and like your normal crowdfunding platform like Kickstarter. Got it. Okay, you can preview as many times as you want to get it right just before publishing. Okay, cool. choose a start date and end date. This will publish a campaign on our site and create the NFT and accompanying smart contracts on chain. Once your start date arrives, anyone can navigate to your campaign, URL, and start contributing and minting NFTs. Immediately after publish, your campaign will be viewable in the Jumpstart gallery and homepage. Your share link will be enabled, and anyone who visits your okay, cool. I want to see a little bit more about the numbers. Here we go. Industry standard is 5%, but if you set your minimum funding goal to 100% and also raise funds with the recommended network token, you can reduce fees up to 30%. Okay. It protects the investor if the campaign is not successful. So how does it protect the investor if the campaign is not successful? Because that is one of the downfalls of a pre-sale, right? You can buy into the pre-sale fails, boom. Or not necessarily, I suppose. But if the pre-sale fails or if the launch goes bad, obviously you're in a situation where you bought all these tokens that aren't worth anything. Launchpad utilizes LP tokens and traditional. Jumpstart uses technology of NFTs, but you don't have to worry about liquidity and market conditions. That's interesting. So it's a launchpad for NFTs, kind of. That's interesting. Okay, I don't really need the walkthrough there. These fees are interesting. So let's see. Typical fees collected by Jumpstart for each campaign is 5% of total funded amount. That's fine. A way to have a fee discount is described here. 20% added to liquidity on this. Here, 10% Sidekick Hero Superior NFTs. 50% for marketing development. 5% is totally fine. I've seen up to 10% on basic launch pads. The contract, here we go. Look at this. We're getting a lot of answers. See, this is what I like. This is why I like Gem Finders. I can learn stuff and ask people stuff. The contract refunds back to the investor. All investors' funds are refunded automatically if their funding isn't reached. If the set cap isn't reached, everybody gets distributed back to funds if the cap isn't met. Cool. That's good. Nice. Okay, cool. I like it. Yeah, Picasso. All right, so I'm going to keep showing the chat these answers too. With Jumpstart, who contributes to the campaign and receive NFTs? Which can work as an automated revenue splitter to distribute company revenues among NFT owners, all managed by smart contracts. Got it. I see. I get it all the way now. So technically, give me an example. But I mean, technically speaking, if I decided that I wanted to start a company, I'm just going to call it a random company, right? We're going to call it just a random company. It doesn't matter what, right? But I start a company and I do it through Jumpstart. I sell NFTs. Or I use the NFT crowdfunding. People purchase the NFTs, of course, using that funding. I can use that funding to start my business. As I start my business, I can set it up basically to where a certain share of the profits that I get is distributed amongst NFT holders, which would then be the equity holders per se, if you're comparing it to a Kickstarter. Is that what I'm understanding? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty damn cool. Let me know if I'm on the right track here. Frequently asked questions. I probably am asking. Okay. Anyway, let's get this FAQ a little bit bigger. Innovation DeFi Watcher, Sniper Bot. Okay. Royalties to NFT holders. I see. Okay, cool. All right, got it. That's pretty damn cool. That's sick. So it's like a Kickstarter that just uses, to make it simple, it's a Kickstarter that uses NFTs and smart contracts. Interesting. Okay. It's pretty cool. We created DeFi Watcher originally as a community tool to help the bankroll network be able to have a more clear picture of the daily transaction and on-chain data. With 2.0, we want to bring this insight to all DeFi networks, and we're going to heavily expand on this concept. DeFi Watcher is our league's watchtower. Okay. That was kind of a different. Oh, okay. I get it. Let's go back here. One second. And guys, remember, I'm doing all this live. I've never looked at this once. So, I'm a little slow sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little slow sometimes. All right, so let's see the core values. Core value number 1 is maximum utility. We are committed to developing enterprise-grade financial tools with insightful analytics and informative charts. We are constantly exploring every available DeFi channel to further increase the reach of SK's impact. Core value number 2, trusted partner. Security, stability, transparency. These 3 words reflect the approach of our dev team with decades of industry experience. The challenge to uphold this value is at the heart of Sidekick's mission. And then longevity, of course. So, okay. I think you guys are up to something here. This is interesting. What's this? Okay, so there is I see. That's what this was for. Yeah, pro charting analytics services. Got it. So let's talk about some of this. What is this? So rise to the challenge, let your crypto journey start now. Create a profile, lever up your crypto super profile. Okay. Sidekick, down membership, VIP access to pre-sales and MGEs, liquidation and trading box exclusive upcoming features. Team ups with Drip Watcher, Headquarters Basic, DeFi Watcher Basic, Staking Basic. So you guys kind of offer analytics tools also on top of offering this platform itself, and then you also get some extra incentives here in the Jumpstart platform. That's interesting. What's DeFi Watcher? Let's look at this real quick. Most traded on BSC. Could take up to 30 seconds or more. Okay. So these are trades for SK. Request new tracking. Search the market for what? Sidekick token, featured coins. Okay, so you can kind of get more of an a little bit. DeFi Watcher is a charting, and you can hold the stake tokens to unlock more options. Got it. So top buyers and sellers for SK. So I would assume you can use a DeFi Watcher to track just about many different cryptos, right? What is this? What is team ups? What is Drip Watcher? I saw that earlier. Oh, I get it. For the Drip protocol. Got it. Okay. NFT Vault. How long are we? I feel like we've been on this thing for a while, but I actually do like it. So I kind of wanted to stick around for a minute. Headquarters. I've seen things similar to this. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is new in the sense of what it does, but it is interesting to say the least. To be honest, I think it's kind of interesting, right? So I feel like it's a little bit of I feel like it strays away just a bit. So like with Sidekick, let me see something. What was Sidekick's? Is a community-driven cross-chain fair launch DeFi network that offers industry-defining tools and a vast network of long-term potential. Okay, so their goal is to be a kind of more of a DeFi network. You see, at first I kind of took it like Sidekick's main focus was Jumpstart, right? And they were kind of looking to be a crowdfunding company. So to me, it was kind of weird. I'm like, why are you focused on being a crowdfunding company if then you're also going to offer like charting tools and analytics tools? But it seems to be a place where, it's kind of a little DeFi hub. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Because it just felt like we were straying away from Jumpstart a little bit by going into charting and analytics tools. But I definitely get it now. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like what I'm seeing here, obviously we're not going to spend too much time. We're at 31 minutes. I would like to get into Search Protocol and a few of the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and call that there. But this is pretty cool. And I definitely think, look, a couple more things before we wrap it up. The main product is Jumpstart and the SK token. If you stake SK, you receive XSK and earn 30% of fees. That's cool. I do like that a lot. And I would assume you get some of the fees from this, right? So do you get some of the fees from this? Do you guys share profits off of this? Oh, I get it. Yeah. Right. Because you can either hold a certain amount or pay a certain amount. Makes sense. Got it. Okay. Anywho, and staking is without fees besides the transaction fee, and stakers share 30% of the fees and NFT holders of the SK campaign on Jumpstart. I get it. So there's definitely a lot. I feel like if there was a little bit of a diagram, I guess there is this one. Let me see. I don't want to say that without token, pro charting, analytics, services, paid ads. Got it. That goes into here. Percent of fees collected. 10 to 20% of transaction tax. Okay. Flows into the Sidekick fee splitter contract. New smart contracts. Okay, cool. And then some gets burned. Some goes to network stakers. Okay, this is pretty damn cool. No, not off each buy sell transfer. There is a tax. Not on the stake coin though. Got it. 20% of SK Vault. So it's definitely interesting. I think actually now the more that I'm looking at it, the more I do like the fact that you guys are splitting profits from this. You guys know I'm big on the idea that you need to have some type of revenue source outside of just the token, because that's a Ponzi scheme, right? If your revenue source is your token, it's a Ponzi scheme, because when people stop buying the coin or trading the coin, whatever, people stop making money. That's not fair. But if you're actually offering other services that make revenue that can be distributed amongst your holders, then that's a business, and that's great. Okay, I like it. Picasso. I definitely think it was maybe it's just me. It might just be me. I'll leave it up to my chat to help me decide that about. I felt like the explanation of how this entire ecosystem ties together could be summarized a little bit better somewhere, to where there's a summary of exactly how it's done. And I might not have found it. There might be somewhere and I just didn't see it. But doing just brief research, 20-minute research, it definitely felt like it took me a little extra second to actually understand what was going on. So there's that. But I would like to talk to the Sidekick team. Maybe we can check this out in the future, or we can circle back to it or something. I would be pretty surprised if they don't end up in the top 2 for today's for today's stream, but obviously we'll just have to see how that goes. So definitely be on the lookout. If you're from the Sidekick team, be on the lookout from on the MicroCap Catch Up, because I'm definitely going to be shocked if you guys don't make it there. It's pretty interesting. It's definitely interesting. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. More products on the way. Gonna keep an eye on you all for sure. For sure. I don't know what the potential is. I don't know how big it could get, but I'm definitely excited to see. So good for you guys. Absolutely. Look, let me get a little bit of water here, and then we're going to get into Surge. I know a lot of you guys are here to see Surge. We're pulling up on 34 minutes, so we might only get to one chat's choice of the day. So listen, if you are a part of another community, if you're excited about a crypto project, if you're, I'm going to reach out to me on Twitter. Just reach out to me on Twitter, or I'll reach out to you all on Twitter. But listen, Tyler Hill YT. But if you are a part of a community, if you're a moderator, if you're just a community member, if you're excited of something, excited about a certain project, let me know, right? We're about to go over Surge, and then we're probably only going to pick one from the chat today. So put it in the comment section. Put it in the live chat. Let us know exactly what you guys want us to cover, and we're going to go over that, and that's probably in about 20 minutes. So you got about 10 minutes to get your community here, rally them up, and let them know, look, this is what we're doing today, okay? Alrighty. So Surge is up next. Pretty much a little bit of a quiet crowd today, right? About 30, 40 viewers. Sometimes we have upwards of 100. Sometimes we have 200. Sometimes we got 50, 30. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care what this market's doing. I don't care if it's a red day. Gem Finders is back, baby. We're doing this thing. Because the thing is, some of these tokens we find, guys, are going to blow up in the bull run. I'm sure of it. Like Strike, I'd be shocked if Strike doesn't do well in the bull run, right? And so this is the perfect time for a Gem Finder. So that's why you guys catch me being so hyped up about it. So yeah, let's go into the next one. The one I know many of you are waiting for. Let's go Surge. And if you're here and if you are enjoying today's stream, smash that like button for me. Let me know. Alrighty. Now this is one that's interesting to me. Now I do know a few people from the Surge community, but I've never really been able to just deep dive into Surge. I've seen them talk to me on Twitter like crazy. Like, this is what Surge does. This is what Surge does. So I have a general understanding of what I'm about to look at, but I've not been able to really deep dive into it. So I'm excited to do it. And what better place to do it, right? So let's go ahead and let's talk about Surge. Off gate, this is much better. Okay. I don't want to throw anyone under the table, but like whenever I find a website that doesn't just look like WordPress, it looks like someone actually put it together, put some time developing even the small core aspects of it. That's always a massive step for me. So I definitely like this. So Surge is the first truly decentralized cryptocurrency trading solution. I feel like I've heard that a couple times. While large parts of crypto traders and developers would claim there are already pretty decentralized exchanges, Surge closes the door for crippling Ponzi schemes in disguise of decentralization, while providing an ecosystem to highlight what truly matters, projects with fundamentals and utilities. That's a huge, 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 huge claim. So I want to see how they do it. So the countless DeFi projects launch every day, some after large pre-sales. Out of circulation. Okay. So we kind of know this, right? So the solution, we have created a smart contract that stores its own liquidity pool right inside the smart contract itself. So trading is made possible by writing the contract functions buy and sell right on the blockchain explorer. There is no need to connect your wallet to any dApp, no need to deposit your funds in any centralized exchange, and no need to use a third-party tool in order to execute your trades. How the hell does that work? The growing internal liquidity pool cannot be extracted from the contract by no party other than by selling Surge tokens. There is no possible way to rug Surge. That's a huge thing. That's a big ass claim. You know what I mean? So let me. You guys know I don't grasp shit sometimes. Trading is made possible by writing the contract functions buy and sell right on the blockchain explorer. Right. There is no need to connect your wallet to any dApp, no need to deposit your funds in any centralized exchanges, and no need to use a third-party tool in order to execute your trades. The growing internal liquidity pool cannot be extracted from the contract by no party other than selling Surge tokens. So obviously when you sell Surge tokens, it immediately removes some of it from the liquidity, right? There's no possible way to rug Surge. Interesting. So how does it work? For a more convenient user experience, the Surge team will provide free dApps to users of the ecosystem, a swap, a dashboard, and charting system. By using those, users will not gain a monetary advantage over others that choose to only interact with Surge via Blockchain Explorer. However, the trading experience will be much more comfortable. Okay, so we got a swap, a chart, a dashboard, and some tutorials. We'll go into that in a second. There are no trading fees while writing the functions. There is no need to approve your tokens. You can trade them freely. Surge saves trading gas. Have you guys heard of anything like this? Surge saves trading gas fees as there is no router in the way. No risk of falling victim to a front-running transaction. Project owners can launch their projects using the Surge ecosystem and pair their tokens with Surge with no starting liquidity. That's interesting. Read more about launching with Surge in our white paper. Yeah, I'd like to. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So we'll go over that in a second. No. Well, okay, we'll just get into it then. Yep. So, trying to see if there's anything we haven't seen here. With more projects launching on Surge Swap, more SRG tokens are used for the growing liquidity pairs. The results in a continuously increasing TVL, therefore taking Surge out of circulation regarding the trading with BNB. This leads to a more stable price growth for Surge with less aggressive retracing. The price of Surge directly influences the price of every SRG20 project due to it being paired in the internal liquidity protocols. It's interesting. That's going to bring a lot of volatility, or it's going to bring a lot of volume, but it obviously can be costly if Surge, starts to have issues. Okay, so we saw all of this. Let's see some more stuff. Tokenomics. Let's get into it. Surge address, 3% tax on buys, 5% tax on sales. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. 2% on buys, 5% on sales is fine. I'm a more of a proponent of this, right? Like having a differential between buy tax and sell tax makes sense because it's like it doesn't make sense to tax someone the same amount when they're supporting the project as when they're not supporting the project technically, right? So I'm fine with that. 7% total buy sell. Not bad. I'm more of a 6% guy, 3 and 3 or something like that, 3, 3, 2, 4, whatever. But we're just barely teetering there, so it's not bad. Their taxes are split 50-50 between the Surge Treasury and the founding team. Okay. See, now personally, I will, just kind of honest criticism. I do like whenever we see some of these taxes being injected into the actual ecosystem. So I'm curious to see what the Surge Treasury is used for. Because I like to see, a burn or something of that nature that can actually be directly implemented and injected into the ecosystem itself. Someone told me to look at the tutorials. So let's go there. One sec. Someone said look at the tutorials. I think it was over here, right? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, nah. One second. We're not going to go into these. We don't have time to. Okay. So, Link's team. Albino, Rhino, Heinzman, STF in alphabetical order. I know the team is not. I knew the team wasn't doxed. I remember seeing somebody say that. You guys know I'm more of a proponent of when they are, but I know that there are certain companies that do like their technology to speak for them, especially if you implement a true function in which they're not capable of accessing liquidity. I don't necessarily think it's that big of a deal. I would say that the only thing that there is a kind of risk worthy is the fact that we did see that the transaction tax then does go to the team and the treasury. And so you never know who a lot of this money is being fed to and if they're using it for the right thing. So that is one of the biggest risks. Even though I am liking Surge so far, I definitely am just always more of a proponent of a fully public team. That's just kind of always where I've been at. Marketing partners. Okay. Brand and logos. Got it. Okay. Okay. I think we should check out their products. Yeah, let's check out their products. Okay. What y'all think so far? I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. Never mess with undoxed projects. That's valid. I think that's valid for anyone to feel. A solution, the ecosystem. All right, let's check out some of this. So the swap itself. Oh, this looks pretty damn good. I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Okay. Let's see. Smart chain, ETH, Polygon. Arbitrum and then the testnet, docs, tutorials, link tree, swap. The swap looks pretty simple. I would assume it works pretty simply. Surge tokens, connect wallet. Okay, this looks great. This freaking background, I'll tell you that. That's fire. That's fire. I'll give you that. Chart. This is interesting. Let's see. Select, paste the contract address. Am I tripping? Does this work, or am I missing something? There we go. Just took a second to load. Got it. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Okay, here we go. 2023. 1 month, 5 months. Or is this 1 minute or 5 minutes? Let's see. Boom. Okay. Alrighty. Of course, I'm assuming this is kind of whenever they launch. Caught a lot of momentum. Started to see a pullback. Totally fine. That's what happens. Yes, obviously the minutes. So let's go to say 4 hours. Hey, this moves pretty well. Looks pretty good. I think definitely could. Chart is a pretty early version, currently being improved on. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that it's fine. I just think that there is a lot of work that needs to be done. Right. Obviously, adding some tools. Adding in some of the different effects, adding some indicators, being able to do things like that is obviously going to be optimal. Maybe even if it's like a trading view integration or something like that. But overall, it does work. So it's always good to see. The swap, though, I am a fan of. I do like this. Now, I guess one question that I do have is there an inherent or intrinsic, maybe is the better word, I guess, yeah, reasoning as to why you would want to use, say, surge swap versus just kind of like a basic swapping protocol, right? Integration coming, that's what everyone virtually uses. Yeah, I think that's the best thing. So is there more of a reason as to why you should use surge swap versus just any other swap, for example, in terms of fees or anything? I did see, hold on, pause. Now that I said that out loud, I feel like I remember that they said something about... They said something about not getting front run. What was this? Hold on. Did you know every buy and sell on Uniswap and PancakeSwap costs you 0.25 and 0.3% trading fee? Cryptocurrencies, okay. Dead liquidity. Okay, because I saw them put this in here. So I was wondering if there are no fees for buying and selling. Oh, there's a tax. Right. There's no trading fees, but there is a tax. Got it. That took me a second. I was a little bit slow, my bad. But I saw something about, hold on. I saw something somewhere. Here we go. So for a more convenient user experience, the Surge team will provide free dApps, more useful tools by the founder. Okay. I feel like there was I feel like there should be a little bit more of an explanation here on the swap itself and, you know, kind of the pros and the cons of the swap. Because it says Surge swap right here, right? But this is kind of just an explanation of the dApps and what makes Surge unique. And it's not necessarily an explanation of the swap itself, unless... I like to just go through everything because I like everything you have going on so far. You know, I just need to see a little bit more in terms of what's going on, you know. So I guess I'll just ask the chat. So what is the reason? Why should you use Surge swap versus any other swap? Now, this is interesting. I'm going to go into this in a second here. I just like to break this thing down from start to finish. All right, so let's move into the next one until they answer that question. The swap itself enables trading of Surge and SRG20 tokens that launch on Surge protocol. That makes sense. Okay, so see, because that's what I was wondering, right? Because one thing that I don't like is whenever you have to go through hoops and freaking obstacles to be able to actually find the token that you're looking to do, right? And so obviously we could see that companies could deploy their own tokens on Surge. And so what happens here is that whenever they deploy on Surge, maybe some of these other, you know, decentralized swaps or swaps in general, right? May not be able to pick them up fast enough, and then you have to kind of get it listed. You got to provide liquidity, you got to enable liquidity, then you got liquidity problems, and you got to make sure that the bots, don't fucking do what bots do. And so there is a lot to go about it. So I like whenever I see some of these different protocols, whenever you can launch a token on them, they actually provide the trading of the token itself. I do like that. That's great. Okay. Cool. Here we go. The way Surge Protocol is set up prevents a buy and sell on the same block, so there are no front run bots. As SRG tokens are not tradable on Uniswap or PancakeSwap, right? Because the liquidity is built in, correct? As tokens launched on SRG20 are completely unruggable. So what I'm understanding is that companies who build on Surge, right? They build on Surge and then they move forward, and as they build on Surge, they have to implement the same, I don't want to call it tokenomics, but the same metrics as Surge, in which your liquidity is built into the contract itself, right? So the only way to access liquidity is to actually sell the tokens. It's all smart contracts. And so it makes sense that all of the tokens that launch with Surge would have to launch or be swapped, I guess, on Surge Swap, because you can't provide liquidity to something like PancakeSwap. Am I in the right track here? Pretty sure I'm on the right track. So that makes sense. Okay, that's cool. I wish I could have a I'd love to see one of my what I'm gonna do, of course, have one of my developers look into it too, and just kind of like give me more of a simplified version. Listen, I'm not a coding guy, I'm not a blockchain guy, I'm not the best blockchain analyst, and so I like whenever I have some of my developer friends kind of just check stuff out and see how does that work. Why haven't other companies stored liquidity on chain? Why haven't they been able to do that before? Why is it all accessible and kind of centralized in a way? Why is that the case? Okay, interesting. Now the key here, okay, let's go to the chat. Now the key here is SRG20 tokens are paired with SRG. So more projects launching increase the demand for SRG. So what would, tell me, so I'm trying to think, what would be the reason a company would say launch with Surge versus something else, right? What I think is that if they are truly, and I mean truly, decentralized, right? Or how do I say it? So if someone wants to launch a company and they are just determined that they don't want to dox themselves, I mean, absolutely determined they do not want to be public, but you can provide them the ability to store the liquidity in a contract to a point that it's not accessible by them if they wanted to. Would this kind of attract that crowd of people that say, I don't want to be public, but I'm actually providing a real utility. I'm providing a real token. I'm providing a real project. I just don't want to be public about it. So let me launch with Surge so that my people can feel more secure knowing that I cannot access liquidity, that I can't rug pull the project, etc. Is that where I'm getting? Is that where I'm getting? All right, let's go here. So now the key here, in other words, you buy SRG20 project was SRG. Rob Russ, be careful. If I'm not mistaken, their Surge BNB got rugged for $6 million. Yep. Also, no need for starting liquidity means funds can be spent on developing and marketing. No, it is absolutely not the same. Oops, wrong at. All right, here we go. There's a deployer team can use so that community can trust they have everything coded right, but a team is free to not use it. They just will get some questions if they don't, right? Surge is a totally different thing. Also, launching on Surge can give your project a badge of complete safety. I definitely would just be careful in terms of saying complete safety, because you never know what type of weird shit people will do. But it definitely is interesting. It seems like it leaves a lot of things to the coding, and I do like that. I do like the fact that if it is true, obviously, and if it does work how you guys say it works, which I would assume it does, it puts people in a position in which they're capable of analyzing the coding of the whole thing, right? You can go through all of the coding that you want to, and you can look at all the smart contracts and look for backdoors and look for all that stuff. But if someone has access to liquidity, they just have access to liquidity. You can't prevent them from doing what humans do. Humans are, kind of free-moving species, obviously. So if they're going to do it, they're just going to do it. It's the wrong thing to do, but they're going to do it. But if you take that ability away from them and leave it specifically in the coding, then you have the ability to actually make sure that nothing bad happens. That's interesting. I want to look into this more. Yeah, I'm going to look into this more. I'm definitely curious, and I would like to see going forward how you all continue to do this. So let's go up. Let's see if there was any more stuff that we could have checked out. swap chart, and I think swap chart dashboard tutorials. So mainly, I mean, at this given point, the majority of everything that you have right now is the actual surge itself, then the swap, then the chart, and then what is dashboard? Hold on. Surge dash. Projects leaderboard. And so I would assume this is kind of going to be like the coin market cap somewhat, I suppose, of the surge ecosystem. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, cool. I like it. Let's see. So in terms of slow rugs, having access to LP tokens. Look, got more info. Here we go. In terms of slow rugs, having access to LP tokens after the unlock period is the main driver for abandoning projects. This incentive is gone at Surge, which incentivizes long-term projects more by taking away the option to rug the LP. Please go to charts again and pull up BSC. Okay. Go to charts again and pull up BSC. All right. I believe that will be a token tracker for people. Project is not bridged. Got it. Okay. What do you guys think, chat? How y'all feeling? I think it's interesting. I think that it could definitely be a way. The way I'm looking at it, the perspective that I'm taking is when the bull market comes. So if you are around in 2020, 2021, you remember how much of a shit show project safety was, right? And I am loading up the chart right now, by the way, as you can see. But you remember how much of a shit show project safety was. We were obviously seeing scams everywhere, rug pulls everywhere, all that bad stuff. And I think that there's going to be a time where we're going to see that kind of mania within the crypto world, where all of these microcaps and meme coins and all of these Doge coins are popping back up. And they're going to start to catch a lot of attention. And I don't know if you guys remember it, but dude, there was a certain point in time in which just to get audited, I'm talking about just audited by Sidekick, was like $40,000 or something like that, because people cared that much about the security of projects. Now, half of them would get a Sidekick audit and still freaking rug pull. But I think there'd be that point in time in which that is going to happen again, where project safety and security is a massive, massive asset and, aspect of a project. And so in my mind, if Surge can position themselves in which they appeal to that crowd, they appeal to the people who care about the safety of a project, they appeal to those projects who want to make themselves feel, open and transparent, and making their crowd understand, look, we cannot access liquidity, we can't slow rug, we can't rug pull, etc. I feel like there could be a crowd there. I feel like there could be a market there. And so it's interesting to me. I hope all shit coins die and utility coins prevail. Yes, same. But it will never happen. People launch pink cell projects and abandon them constantly because they know 30 or 90 days later they will have an LP unlock and all the holders will have given up by then and no one will even notice. That is very common, by the way. Incredibly common. So that's interesting. All right, here we go. What we got? What is this? What is this? 24-hour... Okay, well, I mean, it don't necessarily look better, but cool. I mean, it's definitely stabilized, and I like the fact that even through all of this, the craziness of the market, this thing has stabilized pretty well. So that is a good sign. I'd say that definitely is a good sign to stabilization. This always happens. I mean, this almost always happens, right? But good stabilization is great. I don't like whenever I see this, right? You know what I mean? So, yeah, chart looks good. So yeah, I think that if Surge can target that target audience and target those shit coins and new coins, meme coins, etc., especially whenever that altcoin rally comes back around, I think that there's a lot of potential for them, and I think that will bring a lot of general utility to SRG and probably buy pressure. So it's interesting. I like it. I definitely like it, and I feel like we did a great job at being able to find some decent ones today. I feel like, Sidekick was interesting. I think Surge was interesting. And Minima was interesting, right? So I think we didn't find any absolute dog shit today. So we're doing good. Okay, cool. We'll probably end up circling back to them as well. We'll probably end up circling back to Surge and kind of getting more input and info from them as well. So I would be shocked if Surge and Sidekick aren't in our newsletter at the end of the week. And honestly, we're only going to go over one more today. So we'll see. But guys, let me know in the chat time, chat's choice. We got one more. We only have time for one more today. I do have to go get my dog from the vet in like 20 minutes. So we only have time for one more today. So I'm going to go ahead and get this off the screen. But guys, let me know what y'all want to get covered. What should we cover today? And understand something. Whatever you promote me is what I'm going to talk about. So if it's not good, I'm going to say it's not good, okay? All right, there we go. All right, what do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to see? If y'all don't have anything, I can go back to my tweet and I can look at one of the ones from the tweet. But I would like to leave it up to you guys. I would like y'all to let me know if you want to see something. Syntropia. Check out Sign from the Jumpstart campaign. All right, no big community in here right now that, or like multiple people from a community that want to see something. So maybe while I'm still waiting for that, let me circle back to my tweet and see if there's anything in here that we didn't go over. Ember. It's a music platform. Signed is pretty cool. We can look at Signed. How do I find this? Let's go to Jumpstart. How do I Oh, got it. Okay. Alrighty, last one. We are looking at signed music investment done right. How the hell do you... With your help, the Signed platform is now an active market with over 50 different musicians distributing music through Signed LLC. Since our launch in February, we have raised over $60,000 for these artists throughout the year. You can see a report of what was built with fundraise early in the year. We are so grateful. We will continue to keep doing what we're doing. Okay. Big eyes. Okay, let's see. How do I get to their website? Oh, this looks pretty good. Okay. Sign.trade. Okay. Yo, could you imagine he just... Okay, there we go. I was about to say, gets me, like, posts a website that gets me banned. Okay. How does this work? Home. Okay, so these are all the artists. I get that. But where is... I want to see... I might be acting like a moron right now, but I want to see their, like, they don't have like a front page of the website. Think they have a website due to come out. Okay, we might have to just circle back to it because I obviously see what this is. This is their home page that features all of their artists and stuff, but I would like to see a little bit more of an explanation of what is going on here and what is that. But okay, yeah, maybe we have to just circle back to them. What is this? Alrighty. All right, well, I guess this is one that we may have to... I mean, we're already coming up on an hour here, so we may have to just go ahead and call it. But, yeah. I think we'll go ahead and call it down. I'm just not seeing what Signed even... Updated website isn't out yet. Got it. Okay, yeah, we're going to circle back to them in a future stream. But, guys, for now, that is going to be about it. We will circle back. Obviously, this one we didn't really get to go into chat's choice too much, but most of the people in here today anyway were from the Twitter page or the Twitter post that I made. And, yeah, so not all too worried about it. And so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to call that a wrap. Overall, I do believe that Sidekick Finance and Search Protocol will probably very well end up in the newsletter. I'm sending that out on Saturday. Make sure you do go to the first link in the description and you go subscribe to the newsletter. It is down below. It is the MicroCap Catch Up, and you can actually go ahead and subscribe to it right here. Enter in an email, press subscribe. It's a done deal for you. And yeah, you'll get a little bit of an update on what's going on in the MicroCap Catch Up on Saturday, and we are going to be going live again next Wednesday for Gem Finders episode 3. But with that said, guys, I appreciate you stopping in, even though we are in a little bit of a crazy time in the market. I know things are slow right now, but you know, better times will come, and we will be very, very, very well prepared for them. So with that said, that's going to be about it. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.